What's up, everybody? It's FYGP, and today I want to cover this CNN video with Propaganderson Pooper. Saying that QAnon is a dangerous conspiracy theory and how these people are completely nuts. So, QAnon, for those who don't know, is most likely a psyop that is being done to put people right back into sleep. Because maybe some, MAGA Trump supporters were beginning to realize that Trump is controlled opposition. But then QAnon comes along and then says, trust the plan, and that Trump is really just playing three dimensional chess and that he is eventually going to lock up all of the criminals of government, the COG as they call it, and to fight the deep state, the so-called deep state, because it used to be New World Order always. Now, people have began using the term deep state more. What does that even mean, right? But basically, they won't tell you that the CIA is running, obviously, Trump, and that they have run every president, that the banksters in New York City and London are running Trump, that Trump has been given billions of dollars by a Zionist called Sheldon Adelson, who, and basically you can go look this up. Sheldon Adelson basically once came out, and he's a rich billionaire, and basically said that it was a shame for him that he did not serve Israel, but that instead he served in the United States Army. So Sheldon Adelson's loyalties, they lie with Israel and not with the United States. Trump's loyalties lie with Israel and not the United States. It's clear as day. How many times have you seen Trump surround himself with, people such as John Bolton, right? John Bolton, the new national security advisor of Donald Trump. And this is nuts. This is one of he's right up there next to John McCain, right? When it comes to warmongering. That is how bad this guy is. And that is who Trump is aligned with. That is who is Trump's national security advisor. So really, if you're so dumb and you're buying the QAnon psyop and believe that Trump is truly fighting the New World Order from the inside, and Alex Jones does the best, his best efforts to convince you of that. But Trump is surrounding himself with Zionist warmongers, neocons, Ziocons, such as this, piece of excrement right here, John Bolton. Now, we have other people as well. Remember back during his campaign, we had Steve Bannon, and basically, Steve Bannon used to be Trump's campaign manager and everything, and he was in large part responsible for Trump getting elected into office and devised the whole plan. Basically, he's credited with that. And, Steve Bannon is sometimes displayed as this alt-right, neo-Nazi type of guy. But in fact, Steve Bannon is a huge Zionist. A huge Zionist. He puts Israel first, just like all of the other people we have seen as being associated with Trump. And it's kind of contradictory to be a white nationalist and a Zionist at the same time, but he makes it work because obviously he was closely associated to Breitbart. Breitbart, another Zionist shill, and basically, after Breitbart, Steph is when Steve Bannon took over Breitbart. And let's take a look at this one. The alt-light is what they call it sometimes, because obviously they are Zionists, because the true alt-right people are not going to be in support of Israel. Look at Breitbart's alt-right light plan for Israel-Palestine, right? Yeah, so really, all of these Ziacons in Trump's administration, I mean, Steve Bannon is not in there anymore. He was pushed out, but a lot of worse people have come in, right? And Breitbart, the news outlet that was consistently supporting Trump throughout the campaign, was in fact conceived in Israel. It was, it's their own article. They say it right here. Right here. It's their own article. It's their headline. Breitbart News Network. Born in the USA, conceived in Israel. So all of these shills, so Breitbart, Bannon, all of the alt light movement, Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer, Brittany Pettibone, Mike Cernovich. Who else do we have there? There's so many of them, right? There's this other guy. This Laura Loomer is the Zionist Infowars reporter right there, one of the most Zionist ones, actually. There's other people involved. So this whole info operation has been tightly connected to Trump, and obviously it's a psyop. It's a psyop because it's two sides of the same bullshit. It doesn't matter if you have Hillary or Trump in power. You have a neocon Zionist warmonger in any circumstance because both of these people are exactly that. And look at his policies. Look at what Trump has been doing to Yemen, right? And look at the fucking human rights abuses that have been happening there. The fucking barrel bombing, the selling of arms to Saudi Arabia, the moving of the embassy to Jerusalem, right, in Israel, the moving of the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem and recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel in a way. I mean, Trump is, tight, tight in with the so-called criminals of government. I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? Um, let's take a look. Maybe we can find some other things. Right, here's some caricatures. And basically, Netanyahu was not really happy with Kerry and Obama because they were not as Zionist as Trump. And that is why you see Netanyahu coming out and being full of joy when Trump was elected to his presidency. Really, really, it makes you wonder about Trump's allegiance. And it really is Israel first. But QAnon is going to make you believe that it's all just a master plan by Trump to get rid of the COG, completely ignoring that Trump is part of the deep state, or the COG as they call it, right? He is part of it. He is part of AIPAC. He's part of, I made a mistake before I said ADL. I meant AIPAC, basically. Yeah. Trump, number one shill for Israel. Let's take a listen.
I'm opposed to wasting our military in the Middle East on behalf of Zionist Israel. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, well,
exactly.
let me
This old man knows what's up. This man knows what's up.
just tell you that Israel is a very, very important ally of the United States, and we are going to protect them 100%.
We're going to protect them. Protect them. This was during the campaign as well, right?
100%. They've been our
100%. 100%.
most reliable. It's our true friend.
The most reliable ally will forget the USS Liberty incident when Israel and the Mossad basically wanted to bring the United States into war with Egypt. With Egypt, right? Israel attacked the United States ships off the shore of Egypt, and basically wanted to blame it on Egypt and to get the United States involved in a war with Egypt. So Israel, back, I don't know when exactly it was, what year exactly it was, but 30 something years ago, 40 years ago maybe, they actually killed U.S. U.S. Marines. They killed U.S. military to get the United States involved in a war with another country. And the United States did nothing to retaliate against Israel. So if that is our, the United States' number one ally, then I don't want to, guess what the other allies look like.
Over there, and we're going to protect Israel 100%. My name is Donald Trump, and I'm a big fan of Israel. And frankly, a strong prime minister is a strong Israel. And you truly have a great prime minister. In Benjamin Netanyahu, there's nobody like him. He's a winner. He's highly...
They tore up the Iran nuclear deal. Do you know why they tore up the Iran nuclear deal? It's because Benjamin Netanyahu convinced Trump to do that. Wow. just, I mean, if you don't see that he is a puppet on strings, Trump is, then I don't know what I can do for you more, because I'm showing you all of the evidence. I'm showing you that he's, deeply connected to Zionist entities and, the AIPAC and has been financing him. And of course he's going to be aligned to the people who have got him elected. Same as with Obama, right?
Respected.
Obama used to be maybe a little bit more aligned with the Saudis and that whole faction because they financed him more. Hillary certainly was very much both a Saudi and Israel puppet. And it's no different with Trump. It's only the extent to which they are whose puppets is the difference, basically, right?
He's highly thought of by all. And people really do have great, great respect for what's happened in Israel. So vote for Benjamin. Terrific guy, terrific leader, great for Israel. I love Israel and honor and respect the Jewish faith and tradition. And it's important that we have a president who feels the same way. For me, respect and reverence for Judaism is personal. My daughter Ivanka and my son-in-law Jared are raising their children in the Jewish faith, always reminding me the important values and lessons we learn about leadership, resolve, and families in Jewish tradition. My administration will stand side by side with the Jewish people and Israel's leaders to continue strengthening the bridges that connect not only Jewish Americans and Israelis, but also all Americans and Israelis. Together, we will stand up to the enemies like Iran, bent on destroying Israel and her people. Together, we will make America and Israel safe again.
There we go. We will stand up together with Israel against our enemies like Iran. So you best believe that it is the goal of all of these crazy maniacs, the crazy banksters who run the United States government to go to war with Iran. Because obviously the economy is in a huge, bubble. It's gonna come crashing soon. And what better distraction and what better way to get the economy going again? What's a better way than a war, basically? So maybe if these people are crazy enough, and if they want to really, basically puts the world in risk of World War III, they are gonna attack Iran, and the nuclear deal thing was basically the pretext to it, right? Tearing up the nuclear deal with Iran. So that is what is happening. If people cannot see that Trump and all of the controlled alternative media, talking about InfoWars right here, for example, that they are all, it's all a plan, it's all brought in, and you cannot trust those people. Those people don't have America's best interests in mind. Rather, they have the interests of the global mafia, the global Zionist mafia in mind. And that is what is happening. See you guys.